Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Freelancer on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries. And in this episode, we're going to be landing on the planet Denver in order to do our final Freeplay mission that we need to do in order to access the next story missions. It's
Open
a
the
police
hatch.
base.
Alright, this is our stop. Thank you very much.
Oh, look! The planet Denver is actually mountainous.
Dun 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 dun. Do 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 do.
Yeah, the whole reason we're on planet Denver specifically is I don't want to spend that much longer doing free play missions that I no longer need to that are not actually paying me out and that are not paying me out enough. So we're looking for more lucrative work here.
So now we've leveled up so much that our opportunity cost is getting higher. You don't want to settle for just these low-level, low-paying missions. That's what Borderlands does a lot, is missions become obsolete really quickly in that game.
Alright, so we got one from the Liberty Police for $31.50, trying to track down Brian Ordway. Okay. Alright. Unfortunately, this is only slightly more funds than we were getting normally. But the other thing that we are here for is, yes, we are here to upgrade our boat.
Nice.
We have to actually go and finish this mission first before we can upgrade our boat. But once we come back, we'll upgrade from a Starflier into a StarTracker. It will look almost exactly the same, but it will be a better boat. So there.
I'm a motherfucking Starflier, dude, 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 dude. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking Starflyer.
Cleared. Good luck out there.
That's future, right?
The mission waypoint. Refer to the nav map for specific instructions.
The future?
I'm pretty sure that's future, right?
No, it's Starboy.
Yeah, Starboy, but it's performed by Future, right?
No, by The Weeknd, bro.
Oh, The Weeknd. My bad.
He's like one of the most talented singers on the scene. How could you?
Well, so is Future.
I don't think I know any songs by Future.
Nah, he does a lot of guest appearances, more than promoting his own stuff.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future.
You see, why wasn't that in Men in Black 3?
I mean, it would have been appropriate. Don't get me wrong. That strikes me as one of those movies like. Okay, look, Tommy Lee Jones he's a great actor. He's one of my favorite faces to see in films, especially in like The Fugitive, for example.
He's even in Captain America.
And he did the voice of one of the toys from Small Soldiers.
I asked you not to bring up Small Soldiers again, Mr. Cloud. Come on.
I'm glad I brought up Small Soldiers. Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Alright. Now, one of the problems with actually attempting and failing to find a decent spot for us to, get additional money is that as Denver is a police base, they send us further out from the police base in order to go and do stuff that they specifically are apparently understaffed in order to go do. So now we have to do this mission, then fly all the way back to Denver in order to actually get our boat.
This. Right. Flying all the way out to the place so you can get into the arena. You find the guy, you shoot him until he dies, you try not to die in return, and then you fly all the way back. That would strike me as one of those costs that I would, like, enter a decision to, like, turn on a game and play it and say, like, Do I really want to sit through this just to get into a dogfight? Because you spend more time flying to the fucking dogfight than you do actually fighting.
That isn't actually true. It feels that way because there's very little going on during the flying. But to be perfectly honest, we actually because I'm not actually all that skilled at dogfighting, we actually spend a good about 60% more time dogfighting than we do flying.
Right, so they do strive to achieve a good not dogfighting to dogfighting ratio.
Yeah. As annotation Gerdat mentions here, the daggers and stilettos are extremely fast light fighters. There is a mission later on where I would actually recommend you go out of your way to try and get a dagger, except it's during the story, so you would be required to ally yourself with not necessarily the lane hackers, but one of the anti-liberty factions in order to get a dagger, and that is a fucking nightmare whilst you're playing through the story. The other big thing is that the daggers and stilettos, the daggers that we're fighting, very specifically have much higher power weapons than we have the ability to use, and I think they have weapons that we just straight up can't actually loot as well. At least at this point.
Exclusive weapons. I like it. CPU only.
No, they're not CPU only. Like, if we were to actually ally ourselves with the lane hackers or one of the other anti-liberty factions, we would eventually be able to purchase these weapons. But we can't actually loot these weapons because of how much expensive they would be for us to mount.
That reminds me of Daedric armor and Daedric weapons from Oblivion. That although you're fighting Dremora or you're fighting the Daedra, the humanoid ones anyway. You can't loot their armor or their You can loot their weapons, but Dremora longswords and Dremora hatchets aren't as powerful as Daedric longswords or Daedric war axes, things like that.
Right.
But when you get to the highest level possible, where you start fighting the lieutenants and the captains of the Daedric ranks, then you can finally start looting for Daedric armor, which is one of the most powerful armor sets in the game.
Yeah, the weapons that the lane hackers are running are like a full suite of fucking Hell Fury lasers, and Hell Fury lasers are Class 5 weapons. We straight up won't be getting into Class 5 weapons until like another 5-ish hours from now, at least in game time.
Kind of makes you wish you got the time in so you could get those super powerful weapons, doesn't it?
Hell Fury aren't honestly all that powerful weapons, especially for Class 5, but they significantly outgun us right now.
Mission commission out.
Trent, this
Hey,
is
Junie. Finally, more story.
I have a job for you. Meet me on Manhattan. I'll fill you in on the details when you get
have
there.
advanced to level 5!
Okay, so now we gotta make our way back to New York. And the rest of this part is us making us back to New York. We got a warp cruise disruptor, which is a thing that, okay. I am not actually playing the original release of Freelancer. I am playing a modded version of Freelancer that very specifically actually works on modern systems. The reason why is because the original release of Freelancer not only was tied to a service that no longer exists called GameSpy, but it also very specifically has a couple of intricacies on its installation that straight up no longer fucking work. As such, there was a mission in the original release of a Freelancer where you were required to actually not only have a warp cruise disruptor, but also ammunition for it in order to specifically succeed in that mission. That mission is no longer here. I don't know what happened to it. I don't actually remember where it was. Where it actually was. I think it was somewhere in between mid and late game that you needed it. And yeah. There are some changes that happen because of the way that I'm playing this.
It is nice to be reminded of the product life cycle for video games, especially when the vendors for said games and products go out of business. Like, wasn't GameSpy like a at-home delivery video game service
Yes,
for like
it was.
movies
It was
or
also,
something?
it was effectively Netflix for games before Netflix existed, and it actually had a lot of very interesting titles on its digital storefront. I remember specifically that it had a bunch of the Army Men titles on it. I don't remember enjoying those Army Men titles, but I remember that they were on GameSpy.
Well, they're exclusive because there is a kind of intrigue in playing a game that you can only get as long as you're using just one particular gaming service.
Roger that.
But then, when those gaming services go out of business or they become bought or sold, then what happens to those games? People may still continue to demand the games, and somebody says, well, let's try selling it on our own marketplace storefront.
Yeah, I'm not even entirely sure if GOG actually has a copy of Freelancer. I assume it does, but I don't know anymore. Like, I know that GOG actually does have a semi-working version of a much older 4X game called Master of Magic. I don't know how well it works because I've never gotten into it, because every time that I wanted to go play Master of Magic, I just boot up DOSBox for it. But to be perfectly honest, I don't like going through DOSBox to play Master of Magic. I still enjoy Master of Magic a lot. In fact, I might even consider doing a run of Master of Magic for the channel, but
the many barriers we run into that get between us and the games that kick ass.
Alright, so now we go over to the ship dealer on planet Denver and tell him, hey, we finally have enough monies to straight up purchase the StarTracker.
You can come up with this big smug grin on your face. You know what I got there, partner? I got enough money to buy this finally. It's the best day of my life.
So, as Annotation Gerdat mentions, although the StarTracker looks almost exactly like the Starflier, it is actually two entire boats above it. What you're supposed to do normally is go from the Starflier into the Patriot into the StarTracker. Except if you go from Starflier into Patriot, you won't have enough money. You won't have enough money to actually go into the StarTracker before you end up leaving Liberty. Because yeah, we are setting up to leave Liberty from here.
Finally.
No.
Let us liberate ourselves from liberty.
What I'm attempting to do here specifically is I'm attempting to actually tie the weapons to their correct slots. I want my Scorpion to actually go into the class 2 slot, and it's just refusing to do so.
Preparations underway.
Oh well.
You know, with a little downtime here, this menu seems a little quiet.
Yes, very specifically, the menus don't actually have ambient. Well, they have ambient sounds playing in the background, but they don't actually have, tunes going around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they definitely put the budget in right for the music when they got the percussionist to supply a lot of the rhythm music that we hear during dogfight situations.
Yeah. So we're also going to show off the stat line for the lava blades, because the lava blades are effectively the other major class of weapons that you can get in Liberty relatively easily. They've got a refire rate of 2 per second, and they actually do a boatload of hull damage if they manage to hit. But with a refire rate of 2 per second, they are not actually all that satisfying to play around with. It's why until we actually get into our next section, I actually prefer running a Starbeam, a Scorpion, and a Stun Pulse. You'll notice we still don't actually have our Stun Pulse. I think that's what we're trying to fix here, actually.
Seeker mines.
The mine droppers are actually extremely effective. They really are. I will not be using them because I don't actually, bother to have a mine dropper on my boats for a majority of the campaign. And when I finally did actually try it out, I was trying it at a point where, well, mines weren't actually helpful during that particular section. So, anyway, the rest of the part is us trying to fly back to New York.
Da, 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 na, 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 ba, da, da, da. New York, New York.
All right, and yes, we are. Oh, we never actually docked at Fort Bush, so we don't know what. So we don't. And we're being disrupted by some more lane hackers.
Oh, our loading screen just got interrupted.
Yeah, it's not a loading screen. There is actual stuff that can happen whilst you're in the trade lanes. I know it feels like a loading screen most of the damn time, but it's not a loading screen. Okay.
Yo, Adrian.
Adrian Haggard. Do you think that he is a person that you can get along with, Mr. Cloud?
I've met a fellow's named Adrian before. We got along.
Okay.
Rookie Stephen O'Connell.
Yeah. So, sometimes they actually have pilot titles tied to them. It's relatively rare though.
So am I right in thinking that the rank that they designate some of these team members tells you how strong they are?
Not really, because I'm pretty sure a majority of the time that these guys are not necessarily entirely randomly generated, but more or less randomly generated.
I see. So what you largely have to go on are, yes, what is their team affiliation, but also what is their shield, what's their health bar, how much damage do they inflict, what kind of weapons are they using.
And you only get those latter two specifically if you bother to actually do a cargo scan for them.
It's like, man, you're getting the shit kicked out of you. What's up with that?
Well, he's got 6 fucking Hell Fury weapons. What am I supposed to do to that?
I didn't know that going into this encounter.
Did they drop any cool weapons for us? No. They dropped some javelin missiles, though. Oh, and also because we traded up our ships, we got a spare shield that we have to go sell as well.
That's when I'll jump. Da, 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 da. Bop, 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 bop.
So what do you think is over in that yellow stream section of the map, Mr. Cloud?
Phosphorus?
All right. We've been to Manhattan before, looking to see if they have. No, they do not.
Vengeance.
The Vengeance is a weapon we will never get to play with because by the time we come back to Liberty, it is too low a weapon for the boats that we're piloting. So.
Okay, so we won't be vengeancing quite that way, but I think we're going to be vengeancing at some point.
We will be vengeancing at some point, yes, but we won't be using the Vengeance in order to do it.
Yeah, I love vengeancing. Because we are a freelancer.
Yes.
We are a businessman, but we want to stay away from things that are not necessarily related to business, like friendship or trust.
Unfortunately, we're going to get dragged into more friendship in the next part. Be safe, everybody.
Get dragged into friendship?
Yes, we can get dragged into friendship. Damn it, Junie.